Good morning, my name is Sarah. What's your name?
My name is Lê Hồng Phương, but you can call me Phương for short.
So this morning we're going to be practicing the speaking test, beginning with part 1.
Yes.
And our topic today is the countryside.
Yes.
Have you ever lived in the countryside?
Actually not lived, but visited. My grandparents are currently living in a rural area of Phú Thọ province. So once in a while I try to spend time coming back to my hometown to visit my grandparents. And actually I really love the lifestyle here because it's very simple and very laid back, and the prices are pretty affordable. Unfortunately, I think I'm a little bit busy with my work, so I really wish that I could spend more time visiting my grandparents in the countryside.
What do you usually do in the countryside?
Well, I can name tons of things that I enjoy doing whenever I come back to my hometown to visit my grandparents. I love feeding the animals, and then I love going for a long walk. Or sometimes I think I love just doing nothing. I just lie on the grass near the paddy fields and then look at the sky. Yeah, I think it is really nice to enjoy the leisure pace of life here.
Would you like to live in the countryside in the future?
To be honest, no. Even though I really like the lifestyle here, I think it is really hard for me to imagine living in the countryside for the rest of my life, since I am used to the convenience and the dynamic lifestyle of Hanoi. However, as I've said before, I think it is really nice if I can spend time going back to my hometown or going to the countryside just once in a while to unwind.
And now we'll try part 2.
Yes.
You'll have 1 minute. You can think about what you're going to say first.
Yes.
And the topic you'll be thinking and speaking about today is to describe an enjoyable or unforgettable experience you had in the countryside.
Yes, okay.
All right, that's 1 minute.
Yes.
So now you'll have 1 to 2 minutes to speak on the topic. And
yes.
Would you start now, please?
Yes, I would like to share with you my first motorbike trip 3 years ago with my friends to my hometown. It was one of the most unforgettable trips that I have ever had. There were 4 of us in total, and we decided to pay a visit to my hometown, which is in a rural area of Phú Thọ province, as I've said before. It is because we really want to escape the hustle and bustle of the big city. Moreover, it is the birthplace of my grandparents, so I felt very excited to pay a visit to my grandparents and maybe get a closer insight into the lifestyle of the locals here, since I'm not able to come back often. To be honest, I was a night owl, so leaving the city at 5 a.m. in the morning made me feel like I was deprived of sleep. However, I felt deliriously happy shortly after embarking on the trip. So on the way to my hometown, we were able to admire the breathtaking landscapes, which was really rare when you live in big city. And it took us about 1 hour to get to my grandparents' house. When we got there, we decided to borrow some bikes from our uncle and to just going around the village to enjoy the view, yeah. And then my grandmother prepared us a meal with organically and locally grown food. So the highlight of the trip was probably when we went to the paddy fields and helped my grandmother with harvesting the crop. And I think it is really once-in-a-lifetime experience. Also, it was our first motorbike trip together as a group of friends, so I must say that we all had a whale of time.
Lastly, let's practice part 3.
Yeah.
What are the advantages of living in the countryside?
I think living in the countryside can benefit people in a wide range of ways. For example, it is better for our health condition thanks to the significantly lower level of air pollution. Besides, the cost of living in the countryside is definitely lower than in the cities. I think that people in big cities tend to make more money than people living in the countryside, but they have to pay more on the accommodation, on food, or on transportation. So I think people can definitely save money if they live in the countryside.
How has life changed over time in the countryside?
In my opinion, life in the countryside has witnessed significant alterations for the last few decades. People, especially farmers, have applied technologies in their work, so productivity has definitely been improved, and farmers don't have to do as much as they used to in the past. Also, I think more and more young people from the countryside are starting to move to big cities to seek job opportunities or to settle down. So the population in the countryside is definitely reducing and aging.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
That's the end of our practice this morning.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I thought her performance was very nice overall. Her fluency was relatively smooth throughout. Some words were stretched sometimes, like "and," while thoughts were being gathered, but the response was well organized and clearly delivered. There was a range of vocabulary used. She used some nice word choice, such as insight into, embarking on the trip. Just a couple minor notes. For leisure pace of life, we'd use the adverb form there, leisurely pace of life, and a whale of a time, adding that extra before time. Grammar was used well. There were a variety of structures, not too many errors. We notes that when she was speaking about being a night owl, even though her story was in the past, that's kind of a trait that is a more permanent quality of someone. So she could use present tense there, I am a night owl. And landscapes which were really instead of was really. And it's really a once in a lifetime past tense there. It was really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Pronunciation was very clear. I have no particular notes on words. A positive thing I'll say is she pronounced her word endings very clearly, which conveyed the meaning of each word, especially for those past tense verbs.